So you finally made it to Canada, and now you're on the first run to make your groceries the first time. And it's especially different if you're coming from Europe, as I do, and if you're not from the US and Canada. And most certainly going to end up in an aisle with tons of maple syrups. But would it surprise you that actually most maple syrup is fake and not pure maple at all? Especially if you look at these bottles that have the same brownish color, same type of jug. Maybe it even says maple up front, or has maple leaves on the bottles, or even says pancake syrup. But here's the deal. I'm Diego. I'm a Swiss-based travel nerd for Western Canada. I'm looking for these special places in Canada, lesser-known things, hidden gems that will also give you itineraries to avoid crowds, or the tools and planner things to help you plan much faster. And finding maple syrup is part of it, right? Basically, what I offer you is that I do the legwork for you, so you don't have to. In the next few minutes, we'll talk about maple syrup, what is real maple syrup, how to spot the fake ones, and why actually the fake versions dominate the breakfast market. So what you got is basically a quick checklist how to spot the fake maple syrup, what's the differences, and benefits of real maple syrup. And with that, we're first going to start what actually real maple syrup is. So real maple syrup is actually the sap you get out the maple trees, meaning the base version is just pure liquid, no sugar, there's no corn syrup in it or no added flavors. And in Canada, to be called pure maple syrup, it has to be made entirely from maple sap and boiled down to this all well-known syrup type of thing. And here's the crazy part. To create 1 liter of maple syrup, you need to boil down 40 liters of maple sap. Fascinating, right? And how much time it must take and how many trees to get to this point. And the interesting thing is, you can collect these maple syrup all year long. No, it has to be somewhere between winter and early spring. So it's a time span from 4 to 6 weeks, probably longer, depending on the temperature. And it happens when the nights are freezing and go below 0 degrees Celsius, and during the day is above freezing. And as a matter of fact, this is a seasonal product, so you can't rush it, you can't speed it up. You have just to make or let nature takes its usual route or its own speed. And that also means nature decides how much maple you will get out of the trees. And that's one, or maybe even the biggest reason why maple syrup, pure maple syrup, isn't cheap at all. Because it's a seasonal product, there are limited numbers of syrup around, and you can't get it all year round, and it's only in this time span. And what you usually see is you see Canada grade A labels on the maple syrup jugs or glass bottles. And then there are 4 different tastes from golden, amber, dark, and very dark. And the difference is the golden has a very delicate, little taste of maple. Amber is the most balanced and the beginner version, or the all-round, let's say. Dark is very robust taste of maple, and it will not be everybody's taste. That's why the first 2 are great for breakfast pancakes, and the amber one is the one that you can use for various things, and the dark and the very dark ones are more the ones that you use for cooking and baking. But we come to that in a later stage. And fun fact is, not only is maple syrup a natural product, but it's also the most healthiest sugar you can get. It also contains some minerals from iron, zinc, manganese, for example. You also see that on the back of a maple syrup bottle. ingredients. Well, it's not an ingredient, it's just one, but um, the nutritional facts. And it also has a few antioxidants. So it also helps recover the cells much faster, meaning it's also good for your body overall. And of course, it's still sugar. You can't eat too much of it. But if you have a healthy dose every day, it will keep you healthier for a longer time. I'm no doctor, so I won't guarantee that. So the key test, and that's what I was slightly touched on right now, is maple syrup. And that's how you spot it immediately. It has just one ingredient. And guess what? It is maple syrup, right? And it has a nutritional list, like mentioned, but that's where you can find out the real one, because it usually mentions 100% pure maple syrup. And one important thing is, as it doesn't rely on preservative compared to, no, we can compare that, but as it doesn't contain any preservative. So once it's open, you have to use it up as soon as possible. It can stay in the fridge for a year or so, but there might be a chance of some mold on top of the syrup, so you have to look for that. And if it's closed, you have to keep it in a cooler, dark area until you open it. But it's not as unusual as usual honey, where you can leave it anywhere you want and leave it as open as long as you want. That one will get back. So a little difference, but that's definitely something you need to know. And that's also the reason why fake or just syrups can stay for a longer time just in the cupboards of your kitchen, because they won't get mold, because it's usually pure sugar and has some preservatives in it. So the important question now is, we've talked about the real one, what counts as fake syrup? And for that, I briefly gonna share the screen with you. So most bottles are labeled as pancake syrup, table syrup. You have an example here. Even have something mentioned like maple flavored syrup, and that basically means they're not real maple syrup. And in Canada, you're legally not allowed to use maple syrup if it's not 100% pure maple syrup at all. And as mentioned before, they need to be made entirely out of sap. So sometimes you can find examples like one should let's get back. Original pancake syrup, for example, it's labeled as pancake syrup. That one is original syrup, so it might be misleading. And the typical thing that you can spot immediately when you look at them, they even have similar appearance, as you see here. And most often they have something mentioned like fructose syrup, fructose corn syrup. So that's part of the ingredients they have there. They also use thickeners like cellulose gum, or have color ingredients to give this beautiful maple color. And basically the flavors are artificial, something type of thing. So what do you have to look after if you look at the bottle like this one? Let me see if I find the right one over here. Maybe, yes. So nutritional wise, it's also different because it's mostly sugar. Then the ingredient list is totally different. There's not one ingredient, but several, as you hear in this example. And I think on Miss Butterworth as well, you see here calories. This is it. No, that's a bad example. Maybe that's nutrition facts. If you have the ingredients, there you go. That's a perfect example where you see there are many ingredients, not just one. So it's a fake version. And getting back to the point, although I mentioned they're fake, that doesn't mean they aren't good at all. On the opposite, they're tasty, they're delicious, they're awesome to use with pancakes or waffles, for example, maybe even for cooking or baking. that has nothing to do with the taste. They're good, they're awesome, they're just not pure maple syrup. And when you're in Canada, that's what you're looking for. And that's also the difference when you want to spot the real maple syrup, like I've mentioned. Is it maple syrup? Does it have anything to say like down on pancake syrup? That might be misleading. So to spot the real ones are actual naming convention, whether it's written on the bottles, pure maple syrup or just pancake syrup. Check the ingredient list, and then also check for grade A, color, amber, golden, dark, very dark, this type of thing. And then also look at the origins that most maple syrup bottles have. Maybe we can see it on one of these, or I have one bottle over here. Maybe you can see it. Let me see. There you go. Yeah. That's one of the things that must be mentioned. Their product Canada, so that you have a hint of the region, or maybe it says from Ontario, Quebec, so that you have an idea from where it comes from. That is important. That helps you finding out if it's the real thing or not. And what another thing is, you saw here the chalk version, the plastic bottle version, and the other, what you see often in tourist stores, are glass bottles in the form of maple. And that's all, what you can basically spot, or how you spot the real things. And getting back to the point, have you ever had the same experience? That you were in the aisle with tons of other syrups and you weren't sure if it's a real one, if you bought real maple syrup, and that you were a bit overwhelmed? Let me know in the comments below. I'm really curious to see and hear what your experiences are. So let's get back to the different tastes of maple syrup. We have different versions. Color grades. So one is golden. That's the lightest one. That's usually when the syrup that is being sapped early in the season, and it is very gentle, has very gentle taste of maple, and it's great for breakfast things like waffles, pancakes, yogurts, this kind of thing, or even your overnight oatmeal. Then the second one that I have here, that's an example. This is amber, and is actually the classic, the standard one. That's also the one I would recommend if you're not sure if you like maple syrup, because it has this balanced taste of maple, not too strong, not too soft. And the great thing is you can use it for almost everything. For pancakes, waffles, baking, make your oven salmon with maple glaze, marinades, and a ton of other things. So that's a great option to start. And as I said, if you're not certain, then go for this one. Then the next one is the robust. That's the darker one, and you see it's already hinted in the color. If you compare these two together, that one has different color. It's also stronger in the taste, has a very robust taste. You smell the maple in it. And that's, if you don't really like the pure taste of it, then it is recommended to use it for barbecues, marinating, baking, and also cooking for sauces and stuff. It's also a great option. It's one that is later in the stage of the season, and that's why it also has this more robust taste. And then there's that very dark version that is really, if you want to have the maple taste, the star of the show, then that's the one that you should go for. And you usually use it for sauces or baking. It also has a consistency like a molasses. I hope I said it correctly. And it's very intense. If you're uncertain, start with amber, like I mentioned before, or even golden if the taste of maple is too much for you. And if you have the chance, maybe try out maple syrup tasting, so you get So you get a real feeling of what is what will your taste buds most likely going to like. So that's the best way to do it. And with that, let's go to my 4 recommendations I can give you. For that, I'm gonna share the screen again. Give me a second. Okay. We start with the star of the show, the Escuminac maple syrup. It's now I lost my words. So that one is the premium syrup of all the lines. I have the chance to taste them as well. Was and is the most expensive syrup, but is also probably the best of all of them I had. Very tasty, very delicious. Almost like a fruity taste to it. If you get one of the glass bottles like that, this one over here is on the screen. Definitely something special. Looks more premium. It is beautiful, and if you have the chance, if you're in Canada and get a hold of these bottles, that would be a great option for a gift. And if you check out their webpage, you can get more gift ideas. So, in general, great option to go. A bit more expensive. Then another option I love to go is Escuminac pure maple syrup in Ontario. By the way, Escuminac is from Quebec, but that one is also a solid option to go to. It's also rather on the expensive side, but still tasty. You won't be disappointed with this syrup as well. Also, 100% pure maple syrup, as you see here, for example. As a fact, you have here some insights on the nutritional facts, and then here at the bottom you see some of the healthy stuff that maple syrup contains. It has a solid quality, good taste, and really good go-to version for maple syrup. So then option 3 is Maple Sugar Shack. You usually get this maple syrup when you are at on Granville Island. They sell it in Vancouver on Granville Island in BC. They usually get the syrup from the east, as far as I know, and it's also solid taste. It's a smaller vending company of maple syrup. They have a lot of own maple products, and if you go and try to get their products, you can see that they have various things. We also have the maple barbecue sauce, which was awesome and a great option for marinades for your spare ribs or maybe your pulled pork. Very delicious. It was one of the best maple syrups I had so far. Probably even top 2, I would say. Well, those 4 are all great that I present today. But it's definitely a good spot if you want to bring some presents back from Canada to your loved ones. The quality is awesome, and you see they have tons of other things, all homemade, all what's it called? Organic. Sorry, sometimes I forget these words. And it's a small company, and I love to support smaller ones. Anyway, so if you have a chance, buy one of these. And then last but not least is from the Crésolable, from a company in Quebec. And these are the bottles I showed you before. Let's see over here and here. And that's actually that one I was actually surprised from. The taste is awesome. It's really good. Could only recommend it, and I even have many clients of mine that already want to have this maple syrup. Price wise, it's actually one of the most interesting options on the list from these 4. Very affordable, also good in taste, and great thing is you also get a ton of other things if you buy from them. Like I have Canada flags from them, on also other stuff for decoration. So really great option. And if the things already helped you a lot, or if you think that was awesome, great to know from my next trip when we are at the corresponding aisle in the supermarket, let me know in the comments. And also don't forget to subscribe, because this will help my channel tons. And with that, let's move on. So what do you know basically now is how to differ the fake from the pure and real maple syrups. You know how it's made and how you spot the right labels for the syrup. You know something about the tastes and how you can use them, basically. Just some insights or ideas. And if you need some recipe ideas from me, just let me know in the comments below. I'll send you over a link where you find some great ideas. And if you would like to have more Western Canada trip ideas or foodie tips, then subscribe to the channel. Also make sure to mark the notification bell that you will be notified when I have a new video up. And then with that, I wanted to highlight a few things, like if you plan to travel to Western Canada next year, let me know. I can help you with planning, or check out some of my videos about the travel planner tools that I use that's helped me saving a lot of time planning the things, especially as my 2-month trip is coming up next year with my family. By the way, if you want to know more about that one, let me know and check for the video above about our plans. And keep in mind, if you have anything in mind, I do like work for you, so you can save yourself some time. I would love to help you. And with that, don't forget to grab your maple syrup the next time. And I would love to hear from your experiences. And if you did know that maple syrup is the healthiest sugar overall. With that, just tell me, arrivederci, and see you in the next one.